Hello and welcome to another episode of In the Mind of Me. I know I said I was going to do a video about confidence and how I thought confidence was linked to anxiety. I found something more interesting to share with you, and that is how, basically like the what is anxiety, like the last video I done. If you haven't watched it, I'd recommend giving it a look. May not be great, but it gets the point across, I guess. If you can keep up with how fast I'm talking, I'm trying to slow down on this one, I promise. Anyway, this one is what is autism. I have mentioned before about autism, and I haven't quite been able to explain it because although I have it, I only know the basics. So this is like educating me as much as it is you. So I might have to start off with a little bit of a dickhead move, excuse my French, because there is one little part here that I just love to bits. Because I have Asperger's syndrome, and this is a fact about Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is a form of autism. People with Asperger's syndrome are often of average or above average intelligence. And that was it, I just had to say that, sorry. I don't know why I'm saying sorry. It's the third time I've done this video, and every time I've had, said sorry for saying that. And then I end up screwing up somewhere other down the line, so. Yeah, they have fewer problems with speech, but may still have difficulties understanding and processing language. Question: how do people with autism see the world? And it says, people with autism have said that the world, to them, is a mass of people, places, and events which they struggle to make sense of, and which can cause them considerable anxiety. Again, if you haven't seen an anxiety video, I do recommend giving it a watch. Continue. In particular, how do you say, understanding and relating to other people, and taking part in everyday family and social life may be hard for them. Other people may appear to know intuitively how to communicate and interact with each other, and some people with autism may wonder why they are different. A little bit about autism. Yeah, there's a part where they repeat the same thing twice, so I'm just trying to work that out. Autism. About autism. Autism is a lifelong developmental disability. It is part of the autism spectrum and is sometimes referred to as an autism spectrum disorder, or an ASD for short. The word spectrum is used because while all people with autism share three main areas of difficulty, their condition will affect them in different ways. Some are able to live relatively everyday lives, while others will require a lifetime of specialist support. The three main areas of difficulty which people with autism share are sometimes known as the triad of impairments. They are difficulty with social communication, difficulty with social interaction, and difficulty with social imagination. And then it goes on to, it says these are described in more detail on page 3. I'll read this last little paragraph, and then I'll go on to page 3, because I'm on page 21. Now, it can be hard to create awareness of autism as people with the condition do not look disabled. Parents of children with autism often say that other people simply think their child is naughty, or adults find that they are misunderstood. And then there's a little quote here. For people with autistic spectrum disorders, body language can appear just as foreign as if people were speaking ancient Greek. And yeah, for me, that I had to learn. I got taught body language. I didn't learn it myself at all. I had to be taught it as in like a lesson from it, like a one-on-one lesson with my teacher. If my voice sounded a bit croaky, it's because not necessarily dry. It's like, when you have a frog in the back of your throat. It's like, it's like that. You sound like the Grudge at the moment. The head just goes all the way around the sun. Anyway, people with autism. Oh no, have we said that? No. People with autism have difficulties with both verbal and non-verbal language. Many have a very literal understanding of language and think people always mean exactly what they say. They can find it difficult to use or understand facial expressions or tone of voice, jokes and sarcasm, or and even common phrases and sayings. An example might be the phrase "it's cool," which people often say when they think that something is good, but strictly speaking means that it's a bit cold. And for me, it wasn't "it's cool," it's bad. Like, that's the one that got me. It was like, sort of, it's bad. It's like, what's bad? And then sort of after like the first, second time or someone saying it, it's like, I get it. So voice is probably going. Oh my god. I look like I was going to say the Joker out of the original Batman. The Jack Nicholson one. Quick fish. Anyway, sorry. Got distracted there slightly. I've totally lost myself here, sorry. Yeah. Some people with autism may not speak or have fairly limited speech. They will usually understand what other people say to them, but prefer to use alternative means of communication with themselves even, such as sign language or visual symbols. Others will have good language skills, but they may still find it hard to understand the give and take nature of conversations. Perhaps repeating what the other person has just said. This is known as, I can never say it, it's like echolalia. So echo, la, and then L-I-A, like Leah, echolalia, I think. Or talking at length about their own interests. It helps if other people speak in a clear, consistent way and give people with autism time to process what has been said to them. It goes on, difficulty with social interaction. Socially doesn't come naturally, we have to learn, and that's another quote. And yeah, I would say that's a pretty damn good quote, to be honest. It can be far from the truth, right? As I've probably explained at some point or another. People with autism often have difficulty recognizing or understanding other people's emotions and feelings, and expressing their own, which can make it more difficult for them to fit in socially. They may, bullet point time, not understand the unwritten social rules, which most of us pick up without thinking. They may stand too close to another person, for example, or start an inappropriate subject of conversation. The unwritten social rules I got taught as, like when I got taught the whole, like body language, I got taught social norms, which is like the unwritten social rules. Stuff like, because when I was like learning body language, or getting taught body language, I wasn't just getting taught that, I was getting taught the social norms, like normalities or whatever you want to call it. And that's, I'll just continue because I can't quite think fast. Appear to be insensitive because they have not recognised how someone else is feeling. Prefer to spend time alone rather than seeking out the company of other people. Not seek comfort in other people. And what's the other one? Appear to behave strangely or inappropriately, as it is not always easy for them to express feelings, emotions, or needs. So, yeah. Difficulty with social interaction can mean that people with autism find it hard to form friendships. Some may want to interact with other people and make friends, but may be unsure how to go about this. It goes on, difficulty with social imagination. Another quote here is, we have trouble working out what other people know. We have more difficulty guessing what other people are thinking. And again, another good quote. Social imagination allows us to understand and predict other people's behaviour, make sense of abstract ideas, and to imagine situations outside our immediate daily routine. Difficulties with social imagination means that people with autism find it hard to understand and interpret other people's thoughts, feelings, and actions, predict what will happen next or what could happen next, understand the concept of danger. For example, running onto a busy road poses a threat to them. I was like that with fire when I was younger. It's not really the best of stories. I won't go into it if I'm honest. It's a bit nasty. Well, yeah. Engage in imaginative play and activities. Children with autism may enjoy some imaginative play, but prefer to act out the same scenes each time. Like they have difficulty. They're basically, like I said, that this like things they find hard because this like threw me last time. This is where I messed up last time because it confused me. It's like find it hard to prepare for change and plan for future. Find it hard to prepare for change and plan for the future, or find it hard to cope in find it hard to cope in new or unfamiliar situations. Difficulties with social imagination should not be confused with lack of imagination. People with autism are very creative and may be, for example, accomplished artists, musicians, or writers. And Michael Jackson, he was autistic. Keanu Reeves, who played Neo out of Matrix, he also played that alien in like the remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still. He's done quite a few things. Yeah, but he's autistic. I think Mozart or Beethoven or something like that. I think one of like that sort of like person was autistic as well, which is pretty cool. Characteristics of autism. The characteristics of autism vary from one person to another, but as well as the three main areas of difficulty, people with autism may have love of routines, sensory sensitivity, try saying that like 10 times when you're drunk, special interests. I think that goes into more depth of what that is, but I think I may know. And learning disabilities. And it goes love of routines, and it has a little quote here. One young person with autism attended a day service. I think this is a quote. One young person with autism attended a day service. He would be dropped off by taxi, walk up to the door of the day service, knock on it, and be let in. One day the door opened before he could knock, and a person came out. Rather than go in through the open door, he returned to the taxi and began the routine again. The reason I'm smiling is because that kind of sounds like I'm not sure if anyone's, well, I'm pretty sure some of you have watched it. Big Bang Theory. It sounds a bit like the character Sheldon, where he just has to like knock 3 times, or knock, say a person's name, knock, say a person's name, knock, say the person's name, and then they have to open the door. If they open the door, even if they start talking, he has to finish the knocking before he can start talking. The world can seem a very unpredictable and confusing place to people with autism, who often prefer to have a fixed daily routine so that they know what is going to happen every day. This routine can extend to always wanting to travel the same way to and from school or work, or eat exactly the same food for breakfast. Both of those ways are like the travel, like wanting to travel the same way each time I was like that. So primary school, from a certain year to I think about year 4, I had to be dropped off. I knew mum would drop me off at a certain like location, like near this primary school, and my dad would drop me off at another one. And, like if he didn't, so it just confused the hell out of me. Then from year 5 to 6, I walked, and I took the exact same route every day for 2 years. High school, again, done the walking thing, and then it stopped for like a little bit when I used to get taxis and that. And then there's a certain like routine I used to do. I had to be like, waiting outside for the taxi, like when it was there. So I thought, even though sort of they knew exactly where I lived and know how to knock on the door and like check that if he's I'm coming out. I had to be there. Right. Anyway, what's the other one? Yeah, there was like when I was at college, there was a certain way I'd walk. Everyone else would go like, imagine there's like a road here, and like you go that way or that way. Well, I used to go that way. Everyone else used to go that way, and then it goes around. I used to just sort of go like that. Oh no, that's not the best. Like you just seeing this all the time isn't really helping. So I'm going to continue before I bore you again. Yeah, same food for breakfast. Rules can also be important. It may be difficult for a person with autism to take a different approach to something once they have been taught the right way to do it. Which, yeah, I guess I'll continue. People with autism may not be comfortable with the idea of change, but can cope well if they are prepared for it in advance. And yeah, sensory sensitivity. Yes, that is explaining all these things. Another quote here. Rowan loves. Well, these are I think examples here. Rowan loves art, but hates wearing a shirt to protect his clothing. The feeling of the fabric against his skin causes. Rowan loves art, but hates wearing a shirt to protect his clothing. The feeling of the fabric against his skin causes him distress. We have agreed with the school that he can wear a loose-fitting apron instead. Oh, again, like I guess I have that one as well because glue. Like, you put glue on my skin, and I just, it's horrible. It even makes me shiver, man. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like glue on me. It's like what's the other one? Labels. I can't stand labels on the back of shit, especially when you get the. It's not necessarily like silk ones, like them ones I'm used to now. It's the ones that where they're stitched on. And you just get out of like a bath or shower time, like this top one's got one of those 6 labels, and it's just, I've actually got one on right now. It's driving me nuts. I think I've yeah. So I don't think I have. I would have noticed it by now. Yeah. I've lost myself here. Oh yeah. People with autism may experience some form of sensory sensitivity. This can occur in one or more of the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. A person's senses are either intensified hypersensitive or undersensitive hyposensitive. Didn't know that meant under. Anyway, if you couldn't tell the difference from me mumbling, that's hyper and hypo. Yeah, just because I mumble sometimes. Sorry. For example, a person with autism may find certain background sounds, which other people ignore or block out, unbearably loud or distracting. This can cause anxiety or even physical pain. People who are hypersensitive may not feel pain or extremes of temperature. Some may rock, spin, or flap their hands to simulate sensation, to help with balance and posture, or to deal with stress. That wasn't a laugh, that was like a okay, interesting, rather than a laugh. I had this weird laugh. Anyway, getting distracted again. People with sensory sensitivity may also find it hard to use their body awareness system. This system tells us where our bodies are. For those with reduced body awareness, it can be hard to navigate rooms, avoiding obstacles, stand at an appropriate distance from other people, and carry out fine motor tasks such as tying shoelaces. I'm about average in that. Okay, so this is one I was interested in. Yeah, this one I definitely have. Special interests, and then another example. Yeah. My art activity has enabled me to become part of a part of society. When there's something that a person with autism does well, it should be encouraged and cultivated. And that has cost my parents a fortune. Yeah. Many people with autism have intense special interests, often from a fairly young age. These can change over time or be lifelong, and can be anything from art or music to trains or computers. And art for me, yes. Music for me, yes. Computers and like consoles and that for me, yes. The only one isn't is trains. It's like, and like, I've actually cost my parents a fortune. I mean, um, I've had like easels bought for me, like canvases, paints, like all sorts, oils, acrylics, like metallics, all sorts. Then music, I've like downloaded loads and loads of music, like before I even found out about like download music free. And computers, like I've had so many consoles and games over time, it's insane. Anyway, some people with autism may eventually be able to work or study in related areas. For others, it will remain a hobby. A special interest may sometimes be unusual. One person with autism loved collecting rubbish, for example. With encouragement, this was channeled into an interest in recycling and the environment. Learning disabilities. Another example here. I have a helper who sits with me, and if I'm stuck on a word, she helps me. It makes a big difference. That I actually had in primary school, and it really does. Like people have like, a lot of automatic like reactions to like seeing someone with a help. They think of what's wrong with him or her. And, like as I got further into my high school, well, into my school like career, so to speak, where I started actually wanting to make friends, but struggling. And I don't know, that was just me personally. But anyway, yeah, people with autism may have learning disabilities, which can affect all aspects of someone's life, from studying in school to learning how to wash themselves or make a meal. As with autism, people can have different degrees of learning disability, so some will be able to live fairly independently, although they may need a degree of support to achieve this, while others may require lifelong specialist support. However, all people with autism can and do learn and develop with the right sort of support. Yeah, sort of like some, I guess, learn quicker than others, I guess. Other conditions are sometimes associated with autism. These may include attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD for short, which I have, or learning difficulties such as dyslexia, which I have, and dyspraxia, which I don't know what that is, and I don't have it. I might look that one up. But another one, another video before I continue, that I'm going to do at some point is what is ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which I hope you will view. Who is affected by autism? Autism is much more common than most people think. Sorry, that bourbon. There are over 500,000 people in the UK with autism. That's around 1 in 100 people. Pardon me, sorry. People from all nationalities and cultural, religious and social backgrounds can have autism, although it appears to affect more men than women. It is a lifelong condition. Children with autism grow up to become adults with autism. You just don't grow out of it, you just learn to, like, you never really grow out of anything. You just learn to deal with them better. Like ADHD, like whereas when you're younger you might be hyperactive as like just insanely hyperactive, and as you get older you just calm down. It's not that you calm down, it's that you're gaining, you're learning how to deal with it, like control it or whatever. Causes and cures. I don't like the cure answer. but I'll say it anyway, just for middle ground purposes. But I will say this now. I'll say something after I've said it. Okay. What causes autism? The exact cause of autism is still being investigated. However, researchers suggest that a combination of factors, genetic and environmental, may account for changes in brain development. Autism is not caused by a person's upbringing, their social circumstances, and is not the fault of the individual with the condition. And then there's a question here. Is there a cure? At present, there is no cure for autism. However, there's a range of interventions, methods of enabling learning and development, which people may find to be helpful. Many of these, okay, I can't actually continue that last little bit because it mentions, I'm not even sure I can say what it mentions because I'm not sure if like copyright. But what I'm going to say about that, like I only read the whole first line. All I read originally was at present there is no cure for autism. So I automatically thought it's not something you can cure. It's like, I will say this now. If I could like start over and choose whether I had autism or not, I don't think I would. Because not just because I don't like change, and like, so if I would know about me what I was like before, then I guess that would be a major part of it as well. I guess, but I mean, it's not just the fact that I'm happy with how I am. It makes me who I am. Like, I like who I am. Like, okay, yeah, autism can cause me serious troubles in life, or among other things, but I learn from them in one way or another. So, thumbs up. Oh, I split my lip. Anyway, I really hurt. Diagnosis. A. Oh, I thought that was like a full stop there, but just a little mark on the screen, so I thought it was like A. Bullet point. Diagnosis. No, a diagnosis is the formal identification of autism, usually by a health professional such as a pediatrician or a psychiatrist. Having a diagnosis is helpful for two reasons. It helps people with autism and their families to understand why they may experience certain difficulties and what they can do about them. It allows people to access services and support. People's GPs can refer them to a specialist who is able to make a diagnosis. Many people are diagnosed as children. Their parents and carers can ask GPs for a referral. Is it referral or referral? I'm not quite sure. You can find more information about. Oh, I can't actually say that. Different names for autism. I don't actually know this one. Okay, so some professionals may refer to autism by a different name, such as autism or autistic spectrum disorder (ASD) for short, classic autism or canna autism, pervasive or pervasive developmental disorder or PDD for short, or high functioning autism (HFA) for short. And I can't read that, so I'm not sure. Like, I do need to like look up the whole copyright reason, but that is a sudden end actually. I just realised I've been talking for 13 minutes. Yeah. So I guess I will end it here. Sorry I kept getting like sidetracked there slightly. Oh, actually I missed the beginning part here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I did say that. Sorry. Yeah, I've said that. So yeah, my next video I guess will be what is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Might do that today, might do that tomorrow, depending how I feel later. I won't be doing it next time. Well, I'll be doing it like as the next video, but I won't be doing it like as soon as this one's uploaded. Don't forget to like, fave, and subscribe, or just like and subscribe. I quite like it when people are getting a subscriber. I've only got like 3. I would quite like someone to be my 4th, 5th, or 6th, or maybe even 10th. That's how it goes. But yeah, try and like. That always brings a smile to my face. Lets me know people are actually watching. Um, yeah. So thank you. Until next time. Telling ho, hot hot. Bye. Oh, I actually need to get the button on the ending the video thing before I actually say bye. So telling ho.